Hey guys, this is Houston Sports Central today. Coming from Thursday, we're looking at the Week 3 picks, my picks for who's going to win. And we're going to get straight into the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants. I think the Redskins are going to win, mostly because the Giants, these last 2 weeks, have blown double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. Eli Manning, he's not even running the clock. He's wasting as much time as he can, basically. I think the Redskins and Kirk Cousins they're really just gonna light the Giants up. That's my prediction for this Thursday. The Falcons winning against the Cowboys. The Cowboys just recently, if you don't know, lost Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, and they don't have DeMarco Murray anymore this year. Now, Dez, out 8 weeks, tops, maybe. Tony Romo may be out 8 weeks. But the Falcons have been on a winning streak. They've had 2 comebacks against... First off, they had a comeback against the Eagles, and they won 26-24. And then they came back and beat the Giants from a double-digit lead, and they ended up winning the game. So that's my pick. The Colts at the Titans. The Colts are definitely going to win. They're an 0-2 team right now. The Titans are 1-1. Even if it's a home game for the Titans and it's a divisional game, I think the Colts are just going to trounce the Titans. Specifically because Andrew Luck is probably going to get even better than these last 2 weeks combined. He's going to throw more. He's going to use Andre Johnson more, and that's my prediction. Then the Raiders at the Browns. If I had to choose between these two teams, which was a really hard choice for me, I'd choose the Browns. Even with Johnny Manziel not starting, they put in Josh McCown, I think. Even without Johnny Manziel, the Raiders just don't have a very good offense or defense. I mean, statistically, they beat the Raiders offensively, but the Browns have a stronger offense, and even with Derek Carr, the Raiders probably won't be able to stand up to the defense. Now, the Bengals winning in Baltimore against the Ravens. The Bengals are 2-0, Ravens are 0-2. It's a divisional game, but the Bengals may be going up against the best pass protection in the league, but the Bengals are going to run all over them. Joe Flacco seems to not be getting into gear nowadays. The receivers aren't catching very many. The defense stopping the run is horrible. Andy Dalton is actually on a hot streak, and I believe he can run the offense and just tear into the Ravens' defense. The Jags in New England against the Patriots. The obvious choice here is the Patriots. They're going to win. The Patriots have Tom Brady, Gronkowski. Tom Brady's 3rd week into football. His last 2 weeks were outstanding. He's put up more points than most of the quarterbacks in the league. The Jaguars, just because they have Blake Bortles and they're leading the division right now, does not mean they're going to win. I just don't think they have a chance this week. The Saints losing to the Panthers. The Panthers are 2-0, the Saints are 0-2. It's a divisional game. Things can happen, but the Panthers have the upper edge. Drew Brees is just older. The Saints, the defense is just horrible. Cam Newton is going to run at least 1 touchdown, I know that. He has the most rushing yards on his own team. The Saints need to figure out a way to bounce back and take down the Panthers and Cam Newton. Next we have the Eagles losing to the Jets in New York. The Jets are 2-0 against the Eagles, who are 0-2. Not only will the Jets win, they have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has definitely built this team up in passing. The running backs, they're not too good, but the Eagles suck at pass protection on defense. Their quarterback, Sam Bradford, has looked horrid these last 2 weeks. and the Eagles are just going to get put back into 0-3. But the Bucks are going to lose to the Texans. This might be a close game, mainly because the Texans have Ryan Mallett leading the game so far. Although he's shown some potential, he's definitely shown a lot of improvement for his team. With DeAndre Hopkins possibly out with a concussion, Dwayne Brown not on the line, and Arian Foster not playing this week. Well, he might not play this week. I think the Buccaneers have a good chance of making it a close game. Just because they have Jameis Winston, the #1 overall draft pick, does not mean that he's going to win. Although he is throwing really good, I'll give him that. The Chargers beating the Vikings. This was a pretty tough choice, but I think Phillip Rivers is going to just run straight through the Vikings defense. Although they're pretty good at run defense, they're just going to pass it. The Vikings offense with Teddy Bridgewater, honestly, it definitely could be better. The Vikings, I don't think will win. It will be close, but will not win. The Steelers at the Rams. The Steelers are going to win this game, specifically because I just think Ben Roethlisberger has had the best games these past 2 weeks than most of his career. He's thrown for 300 yards plus per game. Nick Foles hasn't come close to that. The Rams will definitely have the underhand in this game. Now we move to the 49ers losing to the Cardinals. The Cardinals, with Carson Palmer, are running through every team so far, even though there's only been 2 games. Carson Palmer has been hitting up key wide receivers. Just the 49ers aren't having a consistent year so far. They were able to beat the Vikings, but then ended up losing in week 2. I just don't think they're going to win. Now we move on to the Bills losing to the Dolphins. This is going to be a close game just because it's a divisional game. Both teams are 1-1, and their quarterbacks are average. The Dolphins defense, it's okay. The Bills defense, it's okay as well. There's 2 average teams, but I think the Dolphins will win off of Ryan Tannehill. We move to the Bears losing to the Seahawks. The Seahawks are 0-2 this year after losing in the Super Bowl. The Bears are just a horrible team. Their defense is just puny, and their offense is just as worse. The Seahawks and Marshawn Lynch are going to run through them so many times that the Bears aren't even going to be able to comprehend how many points have been scored against them. And we move to the primetime Sunday night game. The Broncos losing to the Lions. The Lions, this was a really hard choice for me. It was one that's the riskiest choice I have on the table. Mainly because Peyton Manning, although he's playing good, he's in a downward spiral. He's getting older. These are his last few years, or probably his last year, maybe. The Denver Broncos just do not have what they used to have. They lost Eric Decker, which was a very good wide receiver on their team, although they have Emmanuel Sanders. They have another guy, I can't remember the name of him, but the Lions, I just think that Matt Stafford is going to hit Calvin Johnson big this week. And even though the Lions defense has lost because I can't really pronounce his first name, doesn't mean it's a bad defense, and I think they're going to win a very close game, probably 24-21 Lions. And then the Monday night game, Chiefs losing to the Packers. If you don't pick the Packers in this game, there's something wrong with you. Aaron Rodgers is going to run over the Chiefs. Their defense is horrible. Even though they have Alex Smith on offense, I got probably the best running back in the league so far, Jamal Charles, does not mean that they're going to be able to beat the Packers defense. The Packers are going to win by a large margin, I think. Now, thank you for listening to this video on Week 3 picks. This is Houston Sports Central. Drop a like if you liked the video, subscribe.